Hello guys, welcome to Rantopia, the Utopia of Randomness, and welcome to the first official podcast of this channel. Usually I would do a vlog or something, but I thought, why not do a podcast? Because honestly, I think doing a podcast for me is a slight bit easier, because I always have my phone on me. Now, granted, I also record my vlog and stuff on my phone, but then usually when I record stuff, I usually have to bring along my tripod and all of those things, but I could just record a podcast, like, with just my phone, like, just in my hand and stuff. And so, yeah, so I decided to start a little podcast series. Not to replace my vlog or anything, but, just in case, because as you guys notice, it's been about 2 weeks now since I posted any vlog or anything. That's mostly because I've been busy. And just recording a vlog, I never really got enough time to just sit down to record a vlog. But in the case of a podcast, like I'm doing right now, I could just do other stuff while I'm recording my podcast. So, like for example, right now I'm currently driving to my school to go to my first class. So, yeah, so obviously I'm driving and I can record my podcast at the same time. So that's much more convenient for me. Plus, I have some stuff to, just post. So basically, because it's the very first podcast, I'm just gonna be ranting, and basically just gonna be tell you guys what I have in store for this podcast series, or the podcast on my channel. And to put it basically, to summarize it, the podcast on my channel will basically be just me ranting or just talking about random stuff, as always. I mean, honestly, it's not gonna be much different from my vlog, which is also pretty random. It's just there won't be any video footage, just audio. But yeah, so the subject that I want to talk about, just want to think about out loud on this very first podcast. And I was originally going to talk about this in one of my vlogs, this topic here, but I decided to, since I'm doing a podcast now, I might as well just talk about it. And that's my bad habit, right? All my bad habits. And bad habits is something I know everyone have, right? But me in particular, I think most of my bad habits evolve around me verbally speaking. And what I mean by that is all of my bad habits have to do something with me speaking, the way I speak, or the things I do when I speak. And I'm sure most of you guys who ever watched my videos in the past have noticed the most common one, which I will talk about now, is whenever I talk, right? And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that does this, but I do this like a lot. And that is, I say a lot. There you go, I just did it again. And that wasn't intentional, that was just me just doing it. There you go. But yeah, so I am kind of self-aware, and so whenever I notice, I do notice I say a lot. And I think the reason I do that is because despite the way I want to be, I'm very disorganized and I'm very unorganized. And that, of course, tie in with the way my mind works, right? If someone were to go into my mind and look around and be very, very unorganized at any given time, there's very few moments in life where I have everything planned out step by step. I mean, I do have, most of the time I do think, I have a plan step by step in my mind, but I just never follow it, so it's all jumble up. So, and I think that's the main reason, because I'm trying to jump from one place to the other in my mind. I'm trying to do things out of order, because I do have stuff planned out in my mind. I just don't follow the exact order. So I'll jump from step 1 to step 5, and then jump back to step 3, something like that. And so I think whenever I'm talking, right, and I'm trying to say something, I say the things out of order in my mind. I'm trying to, that I'm thinking of saying. So I say a lot, so just to progress or reboot my brain, so to speak. But yeah, and that's that. I don't think that's nothing too major. I think I should have worked on it. which brings me to another habit, or I don't know if this is a habit or what, but I just noticed recently, like really recently, like within like the last month, that I actually stutter whenever I talk. And the funny thing is, I'm 18 now, about to go into 19 this in a few months, but like in all of my years of living, right, up until like last month or something, I never like really noticed I stutter. Like I didn't even know I stuttered, like at all. Like now that I know of it, like now that I know I stutter and stuff, like I said before, I'm like self-aware at times, right? So whenever I paid attention, like I noticed how much I really stutter, and it's crazy because I've been alive for so long. I mean, not really that long, but like, you know, I've been alive my whole life, and I really never noticed that I stutter, despite the fact that I stutter so bad. And I'm probably a little over exaggerating here about being like so bad at stuttering. I mean, it's probably not that bad compared to other people. I'm pretty sure I've been pretty, you know, light off, pretty light. But like, yeah, it's weird because I have a friend who, you know, I have a lot of friends who stutter, and you know, I notice that. But like, it's weird. I never noticed myself stutter until like a month ago when But again, I think I was self-aware that time, and I just like caught myself while I was talking to one of my friends, like, whoa, did I just stutter? And like the more I took notice, like the more I realized how much I stutter, which is crazy. And I started asking around, and like all my friends like, oh yeah, you stutter, but like it's fine. And like, again, it's fine. Like I really don't have anything against it. You know, it really doesn't really bother me that much. The only thing that, you know, I find strange is I never noticed it up until like recently. And so yeah. Alright, so enough about that. Now moving on. Now I think this next habit is a really, really big one for me. It is one that I've been developing since like back in like grade school or something. And this habit, right, it's sort of actually changed throughout the time, but it's basically the same. Is I call people and all my friends, like all my friends and people I interact with, bros and mates a lot, right? Like bro as in B-R-O, and then mate as in M-A-T-E, right? If it's in plural, then M-A-T-E-S, right? Or bros and then, you get it, right? And the reason I do that, the reason I started doing that back in grade school is because I'm really bad at names. And I'm super bad. Like I know other people would say they're bad at names, but like they haven't met me yet. So like you could repeat your name for like, I don't know, 10 times every single day, and I probably still won't remember it. You know, I literally will forget someone's names like 5 minutes after they tell me their name, which is really bad. And so I started noticing this back when I was in grade school, like around, I don't know, 4th, 5th grade, something like that, where, you know, there was this new kid who came into my class, and he was a transfer student, and you know, we were trying to make friends, and I came up to make friends, and I asked him for his name, and his name, now that I try to remember, I think it was Jacob. Now, you're probably thinking, like, after so many years, like, I still remember his name, so I'm clearly not that bad at names. But here's the thing, hear me out, is his name is Jacob, right? Which is a pretty common name, and it's a pretty easy name. I mean, it's nothing hard, it's a school name. But, like, you guys have to understand, it took me, I'm pretty sure, I'm like, no lie, like, he came in about 2 months after school started, right? So School started, I believe back then it was around August or something. He came about 2 months. So, around October, something like that, right? And I kid you not, it took me all the way until like February, like the end of February or something like that, for me to finally like click in my mind that, you know, that's Jacob. And like, you guys can tell, like, that's like absurd amount of time, like a long amount of time to like remember the simple name is Jacob. And like, the way I would get by every day is literally, no, I say I was trying to make friends with him, like back then I was an introvert, right? And so even me trying to make friends is like really hard. And so he's one of those guys who, luckily, he was one of those guys who was basically friends with everyone. And so in a way, he was my friend, but like, we don't really interact that much, like on a daily basis, you know. But no, we do interact like throughout the weeks and stuff. And so whenever we would interact, like I remember the first few weeks, the first few weeks, like every time we interact, I would like the first few days after he came in, like we were interact, I would like ask for his name, and like I would apologize that would give him the whole story that I'm really bad at names, and he's like, yeah, it's cool and whatever. But like after like once we get past that like 2-week mark, right, and like I start to talk to him, right, whenever I try to think of his name, I just can't place a name to like, you know, to his face, right? And so what I would start doing back then is I would start talking in a way where I wouldn't, you know, need to use his name, you know. And so I'll be like, hey, or like, or you know, I would just start using sound or stuff instead of like, you know how people would call out, hey, like, for example, like if I had need to borrow like a pencil or something, you know, normally if I knew his name, I'd be like, hey, Jacob, do you have a pencil or something I could borrow, right? But because I didn't know his name, or I didn't remember his name, I'd be like, hey, yay, like I would say stuff like that to get his attention, right? Or I would tap him on the shoulder or something like that, and I was saying whatever I need to say. And then I think it was toward the end of I think 5th grade year that I started developing the habit of saying bro, because it had gotten to the point where like it wasn't just him, like it was other people that, like, you know, new people that I meet and try to make friends with, right? And it's gotten to a point where like I know it's like so bad, my memory of people named, that's, you know, be so weird, you know, or be awkward after knowing them for so long to be like, hey, so like what's your name again? Like I know you for like a few weeks now, like a few months, but like I still don't remember. See, so no, I mean, I was, like I said, even back then I was like a little self-aware of how, you know, awkward things would get. And so I developed a habit of start calling people bro. And like I would call everyone bros, right? Even the friend that I do know their name of, just to get into the habit, you know. Like I was really trying to develop this habit back then of just calling people bro, so that, you know, I don't run into the situation where I try to remember someone's name, because I know it sounds terrible, but like for the most part, that was on me. You know, it was like released off my shoulder that I don't have to like try to remember names. I mean, I still try to remember people's names, especially our friends and all. You know, if I'm trying to become friends, but like it's not like a concerning matter, like top priority, you know, because I now just call people bro. And I call people bro all the way up until I want to say my freshman year. Or around my freshman or sophomore year of high school. And I stopped calling people bro, and I switched over to start calling people mate. And the reason I switched over from bro to mate is because you guys have to understand, when I said I was calling everyone bros, I mean I was literally calling everyone bro, like even the girls, like all my female friends and like stuff like that, I was calling them bros. And like, again, like I said, I was self-aware, and like I'm aware of the fact that bro is really gender exclusive, you know. It's like I'm calling you like a guy, you know. And so I feel like that's not right? I mean, I was starting to feel awkward. I was going through that age where, you know, going through puberty and stuff, right? Whatever, and it, like started taking interest in girls and stuff there. And then I noticed like I'm calling off like these girls, right? They have a crush on like bros, right? And like I don't know, it just didn't click with me, right? It's just feel right. And so I start using mate. Now mate, obviously, you know, you can refer to anyone, right? To like males or female, right? And so I start calling people mate, and you know, I feel less awkward calling people mate, you know, especially when I'm talking to a female friend, or like, you know, a girl I have a crush on, whatever, right? You know, instead of calling them bro, right? Which is, you know, just, you know, I don't know, they probably don't even notice, but like I noticed, right? And I don't know, it didn't click well with me, and so I was, you know, I would call them mate instead, you know. Which, I mean, you guys were like, probably at this point, like, I mean, you were like, what, 13, 14, you probably should start learning people's names and stuff, right? Start trying to get out that bad habit. But like, I really do try to learn people's names and stuff, but, you know, I'm just really bad at it. I mean, I'm a little bit better now. Now I'm 18, I'm a little bit better now. It's been years, and I'm like trying to work on it, right? But still, like, I'm still like considered like really bad at names, and so I still call people mate and stuff. And the funny thing is, I only start calling, like I said, I only start calling people mate like for the last few years now, like since sophomore year or something, right? And so what I mean is, for the majority of my life, I've been calling people bro, right? And so that is still like a really big habit of mine, right? Still a habit. And so every so often, right, I would catch myself, right? I would like notice that I would switch from mate back to bro, right? And it's like it threw me off, because every so often, I don't know if you guys do this, but like every so often you just tune in to what you're like yourself talking, right? And it's like you just notice like little things. And so every so often I would tune in to whatever I'm talking to people, right? And I would just notice that I just switch from mate to bro, like mid-sentence or something like that. Or I just start using bro again, right? And so I would catch myself like, whoa, like hold up, like let me switch back to mate, right? And I think I actually done this before in one of my vlogs. I think the vlog where I went around my campus to try to find my classes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in that vlog. If you guys didn't know, or if you guys want to go see, it's like toward the beginning of, well, not toward the beginning, but yeah, toward the beginning of me like first walking around. I think I was talking about the view or something like that around campus, and I think I slipped, like a bro got slipped in there. Like I was like, look at this view or something, and I think I said something along the line of, bro is so quiet, bro is so peaceful, or something like that. I said bro once, and I think while I was editing the video, I was like, I noticed that, and I was like, whoa, really? No, it just slipped past. But yeah, so that's, because the reason I'm talking so much about this habit is because I have a lot of friends, and just people I interact with lately that's like, why do you use mate? Or why do you use bro, right? And the funny thing is, actually, whenever I text people, I text my friends, I actually use mate a lot. If you were someone to go through all my texts to all my friends, it'd be like something mate, like what's up mate, or like how's your day mate, or everything's fine mate. You know, I'll use mate a lot. And so like it's not just me like whenever I'm talking, but like also when I'm texting, I would use mate. Obviously I don't use bro whenever I'm texting, because I noticed that like I'm actually texting. It's only when I talk, like verbally talking, that the bros slip out. But yeah, a lot of my friends then, like people I interact with, like they ask me like, why do you always use mate and like bros and stuff like that? And that's the reason why. It's because I'm really bad at names, and it's because of me being bad at names that I developed a habit of using mate and bro. But yeah, so yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's any other bad habits that I have. A big one. Now I know for like last few habits I'm being saying it's like big one, but like this is a big bad habit of mine, like a really bad habit, is I procrastinate. Like procrastinate like a lot. And I know everyone say they procrastinate and they have a problem with procrastinating, but like I really do have a problem with procrastinating. As a matter of fact, as of this moment, as I'm speaking right now, I actually have an essay that's due at like 10, and right now currently it's 7:36, and I haven't, like, I'm halfway finished with the essay, right? It's a rough draft. I'm halfway done with my essay, but I still have like a few more like paragraphs to go, and like I know, I'm just really bad at procrastinating. And so I think actually throughout the years, despite the fact that I'm saying I'm trying to get better at it, I actually think I got worse throughout the year. And a prime example is starting in high school, right? It was around high school that I started, like freshman year, sophomore year of high school, that I started noticing that I truly have a problem with procrastination, right? Where let's say, for example, I would have like a worksheet packet, right? Or a key concept. I don't know if you guys know what a key concept is, and basically if you have like an AP class, or not even just a regular class, right? It's basically a packet. It's like a worksheet packet, right? On whatever chapter you're learning that week or that period, you know. And so I would basically have these worksheet packet, right? That's like due like on Friday or something, right? And you usually would get them like at the beginning of the week, right? And so I would get them at the beginning of the week, and I'd be like, if you split them out, right, usually the package is like around 10, 15, sometimes, 20 pages, up to 20 pages, which sound like a lot, but I mean, if you're a good student and you don't procrastinate and you focus on your schoolwork, right, and you split them out, like, if let's say it was like 20 pages, right, you split them out like, roughly like 4 or 5 pages each day, right? I mean, it's doable, right? I mean, it's only on rare occasion that you get something as big as 20-page package, right, in a week. And usually, even if you get like that big of a package, like the teacher back then, like they will extend the time for us, right? They give us like a week and a half, or even sometimes 2 weeks, right? And so you have ample amount of time, right? Most times it's like 10 pages, right, within a matter of weeks, right? And so I mean, if you were to split it out, right, and be a good student, you work like 2 pages or 2 and 3, whatever, like each night, right? And you'd be good, right, for the week. But being the procrastinator that I am, right, I would get the packet on a Monday, right, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I will work on it, right? I would not work on it, right? I would go home. I'll still do my homework, right? I'll do whatever's due the next day, right? But if it's not like due the next day, right, then I like 9 out of 10, right? I would not touch it, right? And so I'll go home, do whatever homework that's due the next day, and then I think I would start watching anime or like stuff like that, right? Anime or like listen to music or watch K-drama, whatever, right? And I would just not do the thing. I would put it off until like all the way until probably like Thursday night, or usually I'll start like panicking on Wednesday night. I think usually I would start panicking on Wednesday night, but sometimes like I'm just like so bad at procrastinating that I was like literally like not even start on the packet until like the Thursday night, the night before it's due, right? And so, I mean, back then I thought that was bad, but like nowadays, like it gotten worse. Where, as you guys, like I just said, like a prime example, like this essay that is due in the next few hours, due at 10, right? And like back then, it was me back then. I would probably like panic to finish it, like within like last night, right? To turn it into have it finished this morning, right? But now that I got so bad at procrastinating, right? I don't even do it the night before. I do it the day of it's due, And like obviously that's not a good thing to do, especially when you're in college, right? And to be honest, this essay that's due in a few hours, it's a rough draft of the essay, so it's not the final draft. So it's not worth as much point as the final draft, but still, like like it's around this time that I'm starting to like set in of like the urgency to do it, and so I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a little panicking right now. That I need to hurry up and finish this essay before 10. But like I'm also not that like I'm also like in my mind I'm like you could have done this last night, and like I thought about it last night too. Like you're gonna feel panic tomorrow, like the panic gonna set in, and you're gonna start panicking about finishing this essay tomorrow. So why not just finish it tonight? But like I was so bad at this point, like I'm so bad at procrastinating that like even then, right? I just my hand, like physically, like my body won't allow me to start typing the essay. Like my mind will be like start the essay, but like my fingers were like not type the essay, But yeah, so basically I think I just went to sleep early last night, just so I could wake up early and like try to rush to school early so I could have a little bit of time to finish my essay. I said I went to bed early, and what I mean by early is like 12 or something, which to me is pretty early. I mean, I guess that's another bad habit. I know I'm talking a lot about habits, and I have a lot of bad habits, but like, I don't really sleep that much, and I don't know if it's a bad habit, or I guess it's a bad habit because it's not that good for my health. But like nowadays, like I remember back then, actually not too long ago, like back in high school even, like going to like junior year and sophomore year, like going to bed at like midnight and 11, like to me that was late, like that was late. I mean, granted, growing up I never really had a bedtime curfew or anything like that. My parents were pretty chill about that aspect of my life. Like, as long as, I do my stuff and I get everything done, then, I sleep at a they consider 12 and 11 as pretty late, but like reasonable enough, right? They were pretty chilled at, with it. But like, even to me, they're like, I thought it was pretty late. But like starting senior year, right? Senior year, I don't know, just something clicked, right? And I start becoming like, I wouldn't exactly say a night person, right? Because I still get tired, right? I still have my limits, but like 12, like nowadays, like 12 and like even 1 a.m. in the morning. Like, I consider that, like, low-key, like, a little early, like, going to bed at 12 and, like, at 1, I think it's, like, going to bed early. That's, to me, like, that's going to bed early, right? And so whenever I talk to my friends, like, oh, yeah, I went to bed early last night, right? And I'd be like, oh, like, what time you went to bed? I was like, oh, like, at midnight or, like, at 1. And I'd be like, what? And all my friends be like, what the heck? That's not early. That's late. But like, to me, like, now my habit is, that's my time frame. Like 12 and 1, like that's early to me, right? And so normally, like, if it's a weekend or like a holiday, right, and like I don't have school or class the next night or whatever, right, I would actually go to bed pretty late, or actually pretty early, and consider how you think about it. Like, I'll go to bed like at 3 or 4, right? 3 or 4 in the morning, right? And usually I'll wake up at 9 or 10, right? Something like that. If I don't have any school or something like that. Which, if you think about it, it's almost like a nap, right? It's not even me sleeping. It's almost like just taking a little power nap. And honestly, for the most part, I'm fine with it, right? And it's actually pretty useful. I'm able to function, and it's actually pretty useful. Especially now that I can do that because college and stuff. So every so often, when I have like a final or a midterm or whatever to do, like the next day, and so I need to stay up late. I mean, I'm able to do that because I'm used to it, right? I'm able to stay up late and still function the next day, right? But like I said again, like I do have my limit. So I think now my current limit is I could stay up late until like 3 or 4, something like that, right? And I could do that for, I think, a span of, 2 to 3 days, of where each day I just get like 2 hours of sleep or 3 hours of sleep, right? And I'm still able to function, right, for like 2 or 3 hours of sleep, for a full day, right? And unfortunately, I think like once the 3rd or the 4th day hit, that's when like it really gets to me. Like, I really get tired, and like I just have to sleep, I mean, but usually by then it's the weekend anyways, and so I can just sleep in on the Saturday or whatever, right? But yeah, those are all the bad habits that I have and that I could currently think of. I say I could currently think of because I know I have a lot more like bad habits that I need to work on. But yeah, I think that's all the one I could think of as of right now. And I noticed this podcast has been going on for a while now. It's been almost half an hour. So I don't want to bore you guys anymore. So plus I'm almost here at my school. I think I'm like 5 minutes away or something like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna end the podcast here. So thank you guys for whoever's listening up to this point. If you really did listen all the way up to this point, you guys are like truly the best. But yeah, thank you for listening, you guys. I'm probably gonna start doing this podcast a lot more often. Just because like I said before, at the beginning of the podcast, is doing a podcast for me, I think, is a lot more easier than doing a vlog, because I could do anytime, at any time, right? But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to this random podcast. And until next time, thank you. See you guys.